All right, so we'll add this little supplement to the series about what I think we need. So when I say we, I mean me, and by me, I mean us. Everybody's watching this stuff. So these are the products that I bought for this weekend to do sanding. So obviously you need a bottle with some water in it, right, to spray. And I had bought 1,000. This is per Jason's recommendation before. I bought 1,000 grit, 1,500 grit. 2,000 grit, 3,000 grit Trizact, which is the foam-backed version, and then you'll need, or I would want, the Rid Sticks and the palm blocks, right? And so I'll talk about those in a second. But I think what I'll probably have now, I bought it, so I have 50 sheets of 1,500 and 1,000, which I doubt I'll ever use. But if I were in your shoes, or if I could do it again, knowing what I know now after this whole training, is I would buy a box of 2,000 grit and probably 3 or 4 of these Trizacts. Now, I don't think they sell these in a box. At least I couldn't find anywhere that sold them. So I mean, you can get away with probably it's one sheet. And if you punch them out, which I'll show you here in a minute, but if you get one of the KXK punches, which I think will be really helpful for you, you'll get you'll be able to get a bunch of circles, little 1-inch or 2-inch circles out of these. But these are the two that I would keep in my cabinet. I'm going to keep in my cabinet from here on out, so that if I have to spot sand a scratch, I'll have these two products available. And then I think you're going to want I know this is what I'm going to probably use more than anything, which will be the Rid Sticks. So you'll want a package of these, and so when you get them, and right now I don't have these yet, but either call up or order from CarPro USA. Corey has these in stock, but they come with two sets. And so you have the soft version, and you'll know it as soon as you grab them, and you have the hard version. So the hard version has a harder harder acrylic center than the black ones, right? So we have the white ones and the black ones, we'll call it. And then the neat thing about these, for goofs like me, is that you have a flat side and then you have a beveled side. And so depending on where you're at, if you're attempting to get a scratch out of like one of these little cracks or crevices, you can flip over and use the beveled side. My guess is I'll probably be using the foam, the softer version most of the time. But my lesson learned through this whole training is to have both. It just depends. It depends on where you're at on the panel and which piece you actually need. And so I don't know how many of these you'd want. If you're not sanding all the time, my guess is 1 pack would be good. My tendency is to overbuy everything in this world, so I'll probably buy 5 of them just to have it, just in case. It'll probably last me the rest of my life and then some. But having this set. The reason why I think you may want to have more than one, the pack costs $20, by the way, $19.99, is just in case you wanted to modify it. Jason was talking a lot about you can modify the edge. It just depends on where you're at on the car, and a lot of times your scratches end up in a funky spot. And again, lesson learned through this whole process is there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can modify these by shaving them or even sanding an edge a little bit on it, so that you can get the product where you need to get it to, or get the stick where you need to get it, so that you can sand out the area. Now, I'm going to end up with the punches. I really liked having the little circle cutouts or punch outs. Let me grab one of those and show you what that looks like. So here's what I'm talking about here on the stick. So this is very clear to me. This is how I would want to do it. So I would take flat side of the foam stick. I have a 1-inch. Is this a 1-inch? Is that a 2-inch?
It's 2.
Okay. So I would have a 2-inch punched out, and again I'll show you the punches here in a minute. I'll have Andy go punch some stuff out and show us how we do it. But I would take the little 2-inch, like you saw in the video earlier, if you've watched the longer part of the series. I'll take my 2,000 grit, punch out a 2-inch, and now I have a perfect setup for my either soft or hard backed version of the rid stick. And my guess is I'm going to be using these almost exclusively, just doing a small little section. So if you're going to do something bigger, that's where the palm, the palm blocks come in. And so these are just like the smaller rid sticks. So there's a soft version. And these cost, anywhere from $6 to I think $16, depending on which size you're getting. But I would just buy the whole package because you don't know what you'll need. But they're $32.99, $33 for a kit. And we have the soft version, and then we have the hard version. Now they're sold separately. So we have kit 1, kit 2, right? So we have kit 2 is the hard version, or the harder core. Kit 1 is the softer foam core. But these, as you improve or as you get better, I didn't use these much, and depending on how flat the panel is, and as your skill set gets, hopefully, like I said, improves, then you'll be able to use some of the bigger blocks. But I think the key for all of this is to have, if you're going to do this, do it right. I mean, this is kind of how we do things, right? So buy the right paper, it's going to cost you $100 and you'll have everything you'll need. It'll probably sit in the cabinet collecting dust, I hope, because I hope they don't have any scratches on your car. But you'll have these things to use, and God only knows what else. You may have a spot in the corner of your glass that you can wrap a towel around, or even punch out like a little piece of microfiber, wrap it around here to get up and work out some small section. You could put polish on here, grab one of the medium-sized sticks, put some polish on here. Maybe you're trying to get around the mirror somewhere and you don't have a long extension for your hybrid or your polisher. I could see myself using these things for all kinds of crap. Even have out, if you have the punch, you can punch out, smaller pads for some of your other, some of your, like your nano hybrid, or even, again, if you had an extension like some of the guys make. I've seen these extensions that they'll put on a 21 and get a 21 millimeter orbit on a tiny little pad. So anyway, that's what I would do. So wrapping up, 3000 Trizact, I'd have 2000 grit in your cabinet, obviously a bottle with some water, a package of the rid sticks, 100%, so definitely want these. Shoot, I need to get these in my store so I can sell them to you. And then the 2 sets of palm blocks, so you're what, $66, and then another 20, so we're $86. This is a lot of money of Trizact, so this is $150 or something here, but you don't need, I don't think I bought too many of them. A box of sandpaper, and again, $100, and you'll have everything you need to spot sand, or even sand out a whole panel if you really wanted to. And then you'll have some multiple applications where you can do different stuff with these things. So let's go out. Let me show you how we punch out these little 1-inch things. CarPro also has those too. I'm not sure. I'll probably have them in my store at some point if I find myself using these little 1-inchers all the time, or if, to punch out my own little 1-inch pads out of the Meguiar's microfiber. But let's go out and show you that. But again, this is what you need. All right, so these are the punches.
Here are 2 of the punches.
All right.
This is the 2-inch.
Yep.
This is the 1-inch. This one is $69.99. This one is $49.99. And they're really great tools to punch out pretty much anything from a microfiber disc to, let's see, one of these, where if you're in a pinch and you want to, just like you were saying,
right,
put a rid stick around it and be
polish
able to
around your mirror or something.
Somewhere that you really can't get in with a machine, you could punch out stuff like that. And then you could also, for the rid sticks, is you could punch out paper.
Yep.
So now technically you could do it with a little Fisher craft thing that you find on here, but the only thing that it would do would be able to get maybe something out of here. When it comes to the thicker Trizact, I mean, punches are definitely the way to go when it comes down to it, because of the way that it's designed. They are resharpenable too, so it's pretty much inevitably, with the amount of metal that you have here, it's a lifetime tool for you.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy using the rid sticks a lot, or you're a professional, or have a hybrid or another small machine, these are definitely the best way to go, because you drop down on initial costs for your pads significantly. I mean, we all know with these 2-inch pads that they cost anywhere between what, $4, $5, $6, some depending on what configuration that you get in them. But when you're taking a bigger pad as such and pounding out more, your price per pad goes down to something like $1, $1.50 instead of paying $4, $5, $6. Now it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're using pads consistently on these smaller machines, those dollars end up adding up very, very quickly. So that's why we developed this type of tool.
Well, plus if you're used to using a Meguiar's pad, they don't make them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons that we absolutely love the Meguiar's pads, and we wanted to be able to utilize the same type of microfiber technology that they have in a 6-inch pad that we would enjoy on a smaller machine that fits a 2-inch backing plate. So all you would do is you got to make sure that it's on a firm surface. I wouldn't put it on a rubber mat or on a bench. There have been people that have done that, but I always put it on a firm surface. Okay, I always make sure to get down nice and low. Okay. Now, you could do different types of nesting methods and stuff like that, but I usually always start at the top, sort of make this into a clock, and I start at 12, okay, and then I go around, but we'll just do a couple of them just to show. And a lot of this has to do with human error, but if you strike it and then you go around it a few times, you'll be able to punch one out. Turn right here, just give it another whack, just in case. And here you go. Now I got a perfectly made 2-inch microfiber that will be able to fit on your Nano. If you're neurotic, I know that there are some guys that tend to be neurotic, where again with human error, if you could see, it's kind of like a little shift because I didn't hit it just perfectly. I also use a normal hydraulic standalone press that you can pick up at Harbor Freight or Home Depot or anything.
To get it perfect.
So you make an absolutely surgical cut, and it looks like a die cut piece. But because I know how to operate with stuff like this with shifting, since you're working with machines that have such tiny throws on them, inevitably it doesn't change the performance of anything when it comes down to stuff like that. And again, if you become very efficient at stuff like that, you'll be able to make a perfect pad. So again, it all comes down to the user when it comes to putting it down. And then for a smaller pad, which, or especially for the Nanos, same thing. This is a little bit more workable. It's usually 2 shots on that, and it's just boop, right out. Little 1-inch pad that just you could put on any one of your hybrid extensions or some of the smaller stuff. So, but when it comes down to the paper, what you can do too is we hate cutting out paper. So for the Trizac pad paper, you could just kind of start from the corner and then go across. 1 shot should probably do it. Yep, you got it. There's your perfect piece of Trizac, okay? And a little time-saving method that I like to do with this is usually you can just go straight across the grid and not even pull out. Keep it there. It's in there, okay? Keep going. There you go. Pop them out. You got 4 discs, 3 discs, ready to roll. For that, and then if you prefer to be using smaller types of paper, take that J5. Thanks. Okay. So what you can do, you can take a standard piece of paper, you can fold it, bifold it, trifold it, do whatever. So I personally don't like wasting time. So I'll just take it, trifold it. Just make sure, I probably get about, I can get definitely 2 backs here. Do it here. That's 1. Still in there. That's 2. And there you go. So instead of cutting paper, now you have how many? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of paper from pretty much in about 10 seconds when it comes to it. which is a huge time saver because now you have perfectly contoured paper that just wrap right around the rid sticks. And that's why we designed the 2-inch punch to be around the exact same dimensions for the rid sticks, so they could be compatible with one another to boost time, boost efficiency and save time.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.